But what I'm saying is, what you guys don't seem to understand is, only a man has the capacity to ask another man a question, and the other man expects the common courtesy or courtesy of being courted by another man.
Right, that's just socialism, yeah.
Right, a government
being polite.
A government agent is my servant. I do not want my servant, no matter how nice he is, I don't want him knocking on my bedroom door, 319, saying, "Can I make you a ham sandwich?" And I say, "No, thank you."
Asking you anything, even a time of day.
Right. When I need something from you, I'll come find you. And like I say to folks, it's under the Medicaid Act, Section 472, and the Social Security Act under 672, where it expressly says the government, especially when this has to do with children, if the child is to be turned over to the state cannot make any offer to the parents for the relinquishment of their child into state custody. The parents must seek out the state for help in having their children removed from them. You can't knock on somebody's door and say, "Hey, I see you having a real hard time with it. You want to take your kids over for you for a couple of years? You know, we're here to help." No, dude, when I need your help, I'll come knocking on your fucking door. Until then, let me alone. It's that simple.
They won't. Y'all bankrupted a police officer for threatening me with deadly force of arms, and they hate you with a passion.
The police officer didn't do anything. Bob, who is a man, at the time was cloaked under the cape of police.
I know, policy official. Police is policy, ain't it?
No, police just means he's a cartoon. He's two-dimensional. He only exists on... See, the definition of a policeman is he's perfect. He takes a fight out of crime. He protects and secures the property of the people upon the land. So police can do no wrong. But the man who's disguised as a policeman, he could do wrong. But the policeman can't do wrong. But the Bob, who acted as a policeman, as the actor, he was acting, put on a cape and a cloak, and he acted like acting in a play, like acting in a movie. Bob,
supposed to be a peace officer.
Bob, who he was acting as a police officer, did me wrong.
Character. This guy, charisma.
Police officer Bob can't do you wrong, but Bob, the man who acts at times as a police officer,
that's who I went after. That's who I went after. He disguised himself with initials and wouldn't give his name and all that. And I found it out, and I found out he didn't have a constitutional oath.
That stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Constitution oaths don't matter. You guys are going down these ridiculous free man of Montana arguments. All you have to say is, Bob, a man, at the time of being a dad, a father, a son, also at times acts from 9 to 5 as a police officer. So he believed, as a police officer, he had the right to do me wrong. A police officer,
I made him prove to his actions.
A police officer has no rights. A man has a right. A police officer has duties, responsibilities, obligations, and that's what he has to do. He has no rights. He is bound by a certain letter of the law that's written on black and white. He has no
official capacity, they call that. He has an official capacity, and I kept him in that capacity, and he threatened me. Then it just got worse and worse.
The official did not threaten you. The man who closed himself as an official.
I know. I'm not used to that, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. That's common. That's common sense. That's common law.
The easiest way for you guys to always understand it, thank God for the Nuremberg trials, so I'd be really scrambling for an example, no matter what all these generals of the German army, the colonels, the lieutenants, the captains, the majors, the privates, they were all hanged. They were all hanged because all the Nuremberg trials was about was, you were a man, that was a woman, that was a child, that was another man. Fine, they were Jewish. Fine, you had a piece of paper that said I could put a bullet in all their brains. Fine, you had a piece of paper. But that piece of paper did not negate the fact that at all times you are a man. Fine, you're a general. Fine, you're a private. Fine, you're a sergeant. That's fine that you're cloaked as an officer of the German army. That's fine. But at all times, above all else, you are a man. You're a naked ape. You are just as buck-ass naked as that Jewish lady was next to you, and you couldn't tell me she was Jewish. or your mama was Jewish. You couldn't tell me the effing difference. At all times, you have to understand that you are a man. I don't care what your piece of paper says you can do to another man. I don't care what some piece of statute or some law says you can do to another man. Above all else, you are aware that you are a man, and that is a man standing next to you, and you are equal. And you can't do anything to another man. I don't care what this piece of paper, what you believe this piece of paper says. Did you create this piece of paper? No. This is just how you interpreted this piece of paper. You believe that this piece of paper said that you could shoot people in the head. Is that what you thought it said? Yeah, well, what happened if this piece of paper wasn't written in German? What happened if it was written in Chinese or English? Then the German officer would be like, well, then I wouldn't know what that piece of paper meant. Right. So if somebody just came up to you and said, go shoot that lady in the head with a fucking, with your gun, you'd say, I'm not going to shoot that lady in the head with a gun. Why? Well, I don't have a piece of paper. Oh, really? So a piece of paper gives you rights. No, a piece of paper doesn't give you any fucking thing. Rights come from God. Rights are inherent. A piece of paper gives you duties, responsibilities, and obligations and privileges. That's what a piece of paper gives you. A piece of paper can't create rights.